Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. And in this video I wanted to discuss a common problem that I've been noticing, specifically with this one eBay seller that I mentioned that is known as Kratty34, and he also does have a YouTube channel known as GoJot. And his videos are not the problem because he makes really good videos and he unboxes a lot of cool stuff and he buys them for pretty cheap prices and you think, oh well, that's cool, you know. And the problem is that, as you may suspect, he resells a lot of stuff. Now, he doesn't necessarily scam people because, I mean, like, and some of the stuff he sells is fine. Like this Mac Pro 15-inch 2010, like, $60, like, not bad. And then the $45, $50 for this iPhone 6. Pretty average, not bad. I think he's being a bit deceiving with the iOS 15 wallpaper, but hey, that's more people's fault for not looking at the listing closely. And then the iPod Touch 4th generation 32GB iOS 4 3.1. This is the first listing that is a major problem because I don't know if you can tell that, but $100 for an iPod Touch 4th generation running iOS 4. Now, you cannot downgrade the iPod Touch to this version, so technically it does, like, this is rare. However, this isn't that rare as I've seen listings for these before, and I was able to acquire my iPod Touch 4th generation running iOS 4. Well, it was an eBay listing that I saw, and then Santa Claus bought it for me for Christmas back in 2019, but that was around $35, and I've seen others go for like 30 to 40 just running iOS 4. Are you sure $100 is worth it for this? With no offer too? Like, come on. Mac Pro 15-inch 2015, that seems like a very fair price. How about just 3rd generation 32GB? This again, like, just for a normal 3rd generation, I mean, it has apps, but still. Price section. This isn't too badly priced, but this is still a little bit pricey considering that most iPod Touch 3rd generations, especially that this one's 32GB, usually go for 20 to 30 bucks. Now this is where the problems start to arise. This is an iPad 2 that's 64 GB, so okay, it's the highest storage capacity, but it runs iOS 6, and let me see if there's an about page. Yes, 6.1.3. And it has a bunch of games on it that I believe he sideloaded with. Yes, Vateris. Now, I'm not an expert in this, but anybody can downgrade an iPad 2 to iOS 6, assuming they have the right model of iPad 2. Sideload and jailbreak it, and then sideload apps with Vateris. In fact, I've sideloaded apps on it, though not with Vateris. Most iPad 2s go for around $40. This is ridiculous. Like, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. And then this one, okay, an iPhone 4S running iOS 6.1.3, like $42, and it's heavily scratched too, like $42, which again, you can downgrade this. Mostly, this is generally worth like 30 bucks, not 42. And no, iPhone 4 16GB black, iOS 4.2.8. I paid $85 for one of mine from the same exact seller for one on iOS 4.2.6. This is unbelievable, Kratty34. I have no idea how much these cards are worth because I don't care about that stuff. Mac Pro 17-inch 2009, that's fair price. SSD upgrade service, don't ever trust these, by the way. Like, this might be legit, but don't ever trust these. And iPod Touch, 2nd generation, 32GB, iPhone OS 2.1. Anybody can downgrade these. In fact, I have a tutorial on how to do it, and it's very easy to do. Now, okay, it has 237 songs, but still, this is worth at most $20, maybe $30, but $20, probably $25. Either way, this is not worth $65. Another iPad 2 for, again, this contradicts his other listing. This is 70 bucks. $75 actually, but still. Outrageous. iPod 4th generation, 8 GB games. This is worth like $20, not $40. iPhone 4S 16 GB black iOS 5.1.1. This one I know has been for sale for several months because I remember seeing this in a video several months ago. Like, come on, like no one's gonna pay $200 for this. Maybe people might be willing to pay $70 since you can't downgrade this, but not $200. iPad 2 32 GB Wi-Fi, iOS 7, $100. Here's a little rule that I'm not aware that this Kratty34's seems to know, which is that if a device is running its second iOS version or newer, you charge the normal value for it. That's how it works, no matter how rare the iOS version is. That's how most eBay sellers do it, and that to me is fair. iPad 2 32 GB read, okay, that's fair. iPod first generation, 32 GB, iOS 1.1.5. This is not rare because iOS 1.1.5, or technically firmware 1.1.5, was the release for iPod Touch first generations that for users that didn't want to pay to upgrade iOS 2. Final OS 2, as that was at the time, you had to pay. However, you can on average find this for between $20 and $30. Maybe $40 because this is 32 GB, but it has the extra apps, but not $80. Come on. iPad 3rd generation 16 GB white iOS 5.1.1. $350. I can get a brand new iPad for less than this. And he's unboxed several of these running iOS 5 FYI, so these clearly aren't that rare. And no one's going to spend $350 on a collector's item. That's not that rare, and you can just use Cool Booter. But if it's still real, if it's really iOS 5, not worth that much. 2013 Mac Pro, reasonably priced. iPod Touch 4th generation, 8 GB iOS 4.1, not worth $110. Worth at most maybe $50. iPod 6th generation, iOS 9, especially because this is a later version of iOS 9. This is at most worth $50, $60, $70, not $125 or $130, excuse me, because of shipping. iPad 2 32 GB iOS 4.3.5, $185. Again, no one's gonna pay. People will pay at most like $70, $80 for this. That's what I'd pay. At least they'll let me make an offer on this one, but come on. iPhone 4 16 GB black iOS 4.3.3. I don't know if this one is downgraded, but you can downgrade these. Really. Mac Pro, I believe these are actually really good deals. Mac Pro, 15-inch 2010. Maybe that's worth $125. This is worth at most like $80, maybe. Like this might be pushing it a little. Top case, very reasonably priced. MacBook, Intel Xeon, peaceful. This is the iPod 4th generations. These are reasonably priced. iPod 6th generation for parts. What's wrong with this? Is iCloud bypassed? Okay. That is not worth the price of a normal iPod 6th generation. This would be worth $35, maybe $30. SD RAM upgrade service, that's fair. iPod 4th gen fair. Let me guess, this one's also iCloud bypassed. Yep. Not reasonable. I assume the wheel nuts are fair. Oh my. He's gotta be kidding. For an iPad, I believe it's worth $107. Let me actually look that up right now. iPad Air, first generation. Yep, $50. For a normal one with an box case and a box, and a spec. And it has the wrap on it, but it's an updated iOS 12, so it's clearly been used. Like, this is insanity, Kratty34. iPhone 4S 16 gigabyte? Like, this is even more expensive than this other listing. $250? No one's going to pay that much for this. No one wants to pay that much for this. iPhone 4S, iOS 7.0.4. I think he's been selling these for like $50 a piece once upon a time. This is worth at most like $35, $40, $30, not $85. And that is the end of my rambling on why you should not buy from Kratty34 and why his prices are ridiculous. Why his prices on his eBay listing are ridiculous. As always, I hope you enjoy this video. I'm the iTunes family, and as always, peace out.